Everybody ready to go? Everybody got water? Everybody got some food? Who wants to lead off?
It's really an honor to know Didi Yazzie Divine. She's been just a great asset to this community, to Indian people, to Indian country, and to the city of Phoenix, the state of Arizona, and she has done work that is really appreciated nationwide.
When I hear the story of the first location of IR Indian Rehab, that little house to what we are now, the vision she's created as far as recovery, behavioral health, and now housing, there's no other person that I really admire as much as I do her. Just, giving everyone that second chance, because I'm a recipient of that.
I'm not sure that I know the secret to Didi and her team, because it must be something in the water or in the coffee, but they have more energy and excitement and enthusiasm for everything they do. And every roadblock that goes up, they're able to come up with some strategy. Sometimes it's not climbing over it. With Didi, it's usually blasting a hole through and moving to the next side. But where there's a will, there's a way, and that's definitely what happens with Didi and her team.
I'm Didi Yazzie Divine. I'm the CEO of Native American Connections. I first came to Native American Connections in 1979. I was a young woman at the time. It was called Indian Rehabilitation. And I had moved here from an Ojibwe community in northern Wisconsin and was taking a little bit of time to find out what I might do. And a friend of mine was on the board of directors. And he said, they're looking for somebody that can kind of manage the program. Maybe you could try that while you're looking. And so in 1979, I walked in the doors of Indian Rehabilitation, and 39 years later, I'm still here. We were a very small organization. It was founded by Native American men who themselves were in alcohol recovery, and they were concerned about the growing Native American population, the Indian population that was coming into the Phoenix area, and getting off at the bus station or coming in town and finding themselves without the job skills to get a job, and homeless and experiencing, problems with their alcohol abuse. So these 5 men got together, all in alcohol recovery from the 12 steps of AA, and founded Indian Rehabilitation. There were these traditional people that always kept coming around to Native American Connections who reminded me and the staff that really Native people had the way to heal themselves already through their, through their culture, through their traditional practices, through their spirituality, and taught those ways and brought those ways to Indian Rehab. We started with a mind, body, spirit model. 40 years ago, we were talking about the integration of the mind, body, and spirit.
In the world of people using substances, they talk about the opposite of addiction isn't sobriety, it's connection. So we know that people need to feel connected to community to really experience a sense of belonging, of feeling loved, and of having a meaningful life. The Native American Connections had connections in their title before this type of language was being considered.
A lot of times people become disconnected from family, from community. They're kind of shunned. Native American Connections opens those doors and accepts them as they are. And so when we're building communities, they find their place, regardless of where they are in their recovery or in life. They find a home, they find a place in the community with responsibility, and are given that second chance at life.
They have a really wonderful culturally based behavioral health program, and we have many examples of successes that they have here with our people, those that live here in the valley, as well as those that come from our reservations here specifically to enter into this program. My nephew is a case in point.
I was at my rock bottom when I came to NAC for help, and they were that shining hope, that last moment of life that I had left somewhere in me. They helped bring that back out. Within that short 45 days, I was able to find that light again.
As soon as you kind of get your spirit healed and you're clean and sober, you want more. You want to be able to take care of your family. You want to reconnect with your children. You want to raise them in a different way because you don't want them to follow the pattern. You want to break those patterns, and so they need good parenting skills, and they need meaningful work, something that is meaningful there in life. So we began building all those little stair steps.
Addiction isolates. At our level of their journey, we're able to provide that insight that I am not alone. I am a part of a community.
NAC has been the one place where American Indians can go to get treatment and to be treated in a way that respects their cultural upbringing. Bringing them back to the drum, bringing them back into the talking circle helps them to heal and helps them to also feel like they have a place once again within even their own cultures, that they deserve that place.
We're down at what we're calling ULF, or Urban Living on Fillmore. It's one of our newer workforce housing communities that's in construction in downtown Phoenix.
We started using the low-income housing tax credit program. It's a federal program out of the U.S. Treasury that finances low-income housing tax credits, and that's probably been one of our single best strategies to really build quality, beautiful, affordable housing. We're building new construction along the light rail here in Phoenix. We wanted to have access to transportation for our housing residents. We wanted them to be in the heart of Phoenix, right on the light rail, along transportation, easy to get to their jobs, near good schools.
This idea of being able to have affordable housing available really solves a lot of issues that are inherent with poverty, and so overcoming poverty in some ways it starts with stability.
People come in and they can't believe, they'll drive by it about 5 times and they say, "This is low-income housing?" And I'm like, "Yes." And they have a hard time accepting that. And when they're applying for the housing, they're so excited. When they hear what the rental amounts are, they can't believe themselves. And when they move in, I just had a family recently move in, and the daughter told her mother, "Mom, we're gonna live in a mansion," and one of them said, "We have a refrigerator, Mom," and that touches me.
We're surrounded by many tribal nations here in Arizona, and a lot of them have gotten away from their reservations or their home sites or places where they grew up in a sense of tribal community. So when you come into the city, in the valley here in Phoenix, when you're a part of these residents, you have to find place again. You have to find a way to connect that idea of being home again.
I left home, San Carlos, Arizona, the reservation, and I came here in 2005, and thinking that I would get a job and get a new place, but none of that worked out. Instead, I ended up homeless. All I had was a backpack and nothing else. But today I have the things that I need, for a very nice apartment, and I take care of it, and I like it. It's comfortable. I don't have to worry about, where am I going to sleep tonight.
Everything we provide for them, we're giving them that second chance, and that's one of the most amazing feelings I've experienced working with this company, is telling someone, "Welcome home."
NAC can come in, purchase the property using credits and tax incentives, and build a beautiful center there, and all of a sudden the whole community changes. So not only do we change just that one piece of property that we own, it changes the entire community. It makes it feel safe, it makes it feel vibrant again.
We were Arizona's first LEED Platinum certified multifamily housing community. So we led in, energy strategies. We were signed on early to be smoke-free, all of our smoke-free facilities, and we're part of a statewide coalition of smoke-free, looking at the health risks of smoking in your facilities. And so even though we're a small nonprofit organization, we've led in good public policy, and we've learned that good public policy is also good for the community.
When it comes to affordable housing, you don't just need passion, you need professionalism. People who actually how to get it done. And the people here at Native American Connections, Dee Dee in particular, but the entire staff, that's been my experience. They love the work that they do, but love alone ain't gonna get it done. It takes love and knowledge and professionalism, and they've got it both here. And that's why I love working with these folks. during the worst of the recession, and Phoenix got hit harder than any other big city in the country during the recession. There wasn't a lot of building being done except by Native American connections.
We're actually standing in a future 3-bedroom apartment at the podium level. So underneath us is the parking garage itself with all of our community and common space. And up here on the podium level is where the apartments will actually be, centered around a secure courtyard here in the middle that faces downtown Phoenix.
10 years ago, I wouldn't have imagined that we would have been as successful as we have been at the types of real estate projects that we've developed and we've built. I mean, it includes things like the first transit-oriented development project, mixed income in the city of Phoenix, LEED Platinum communities, some of the first permanent supportive housing, affordable housing communities that really are modeled around a housing first model.
They are really experts in the field in affordable housing and really bringing together and creating housing and building and spaces for communities. They're great at making sure that the American Indian community is serviced through those buildings, and that even through the visual and the look and the architecture of those buildings, that they're created so that people feel welcome when they come into them.
We also opened just a couple months ago the only homeless shelter for youth age 18 to 25. We're the only shelter in the 5th largest city in the country for homeless youth. We're always kind of on that edge of really meeting the need that's a gap in our community. So I think our impact is pretty wide, and people know that if Native American Connections is involved in that project, you know, we're going to get it done.
In the future, what you're going to see are families who are healthy, families who are raising those kids in a more healthy environment, and you're going to see it in their kids and how they're also leading healthy and happy lives.
I have 21 grandchildren and 4 great-grandchildren, and I have sobriety to be there for them.
But for the grace of God, go any of us. I mean, I go through tough times. I could end up experiencing homelessness and need the support of Native American Connections. Any of us could be in that same spot, and that's the philosophy that they operate under, is that we help people going through tough times, because that could be us someday.
They give hope to people who have had no hope. And hope is really the key to the success of all of us. If we can strive towards a goal, we have hope to do so. That's so important in the lives of all of these people who have received hope and help from Dee Dee and her program.